What's up, folks? It's Alex Burns, back with the Cabinets Creek blog, doing another Let's Play for the Seleucid Empire in Imperator Rome. So when we'd last sort of left the Empire, we hadn't actually advanced very far in the game, just a couple days, I want to say, after the start point. I've kind of moved the some armies. I'm kind of sort of ordering them to move west in order to confront Phrygia, or the Antigone Kingdom, and I want to, before we unclick pause here, to build a couple of fortresses up in the north. One at Anzita, I think, and another at Korn, Blood for the Blood God, and we'll go ahead and leave that like so. I think I have a couple character event chains going. I'm trying to become friends with my heir, Antiochus, so I imagine we'll see some of those events pop up. And I'm also trying to become friends with the Ptolemaic Kingdom. Alright, so this event is called the Gladiator. A previously unknown gladiator has recently risen to great prominence. What do I want to do? I wonder if I can do that even if I don't have the civic power for it. Let's try that. Okay, so now I have negative 25 civic power. Great. Again, just kind of a recap from last time. I chose to not negotiate with the Mauryan Empire, but instead sort of cede my overlordship of the Bactrian Kingdom in order to sort of gain a truce with them, so that I can focus my efforts to the west. Okay, and here's another one of these events in this same event chain, and I think I want to sacrifice what I have a lot of power, maybe religious power, in order to impress Antiochus, my heir. The reason why I'm doing this event chain is in a couple of the playthroughs that I've sort of done to practice, so I don't look like a total idiot. Antiochus sort of starts a civil war against me, so I'm trying to be friends with him as a result. Okay, so it looks like crucifying some people, or killing someone, in order to become friends with my son. So great news. Ooh. Phrygia is fabricated on me. That doesn't seem good. And let's see what other research ratio is bad. Sort of accepting all these trade deals. Assault, you know, just giving us money. Okay, and this is the event that I was referencing last time, and maybe the reason why I'm pursuing this strategy of focusing my resources in the west. While the various successors of Alexander, or the Diadochi, are living, they have claims on all the other successor kingdoms. So, for example, my ruler, Seleucus, has claims on everything while he is alive. And so that's why I thought, you know, at least initially it might pay off to try and sort of focus my resources on the west, and then perhaps we can move east later on. But this applies to all of these different successors, so not only my guy Seleucus, but also Ptolemy, Antigonus, Cassander, for the descendant of Antipater in Greece, and also Lysimachus in Thrace. Okay, so accepting all these trade deals. Alright. So as soon as I have the civic power for it... Oh, I'm spurned by my son. Delightful, delightful. Alright, let's go ahead and try to make friends with him again. Something that I find interesting in these games is you see the anchor used as the symbol of the Seleucid Empire, not only in this, but also in games like I think the original Rome Total War. You find the anchor being used as the symbol of the Seleucid Empire, and there are various explanations for that. One historian, Justin, says that it was sort of a ring that was given to Seleucus's mother by the god Apollo. So that, take that perhaps for what it's worth. Others say that it was a birthmark in the shape of an anchor that Seleucus had. And here's another sort of one of these friendship chain events. Still other historians, and this is kind of one that maybe I'm partial to, from Appian, sort of a Greek historian who's writing in the 2nd century AD in the Roman world. Another one of these friendship events says that Seleucus is sort of advancing towards Babylon sort of early on in the wars of the Diadochi, and he stumbles on a stone, but Ptolemy convinced him that this stone, which was then sort of dug up, and they found an anchor underneath. This was sort of a symbol of safety, or a symbol of strength. And so regardless, you see this on Seleucid coins at times, but you often see kind of other symbology used as well, such as the elephants. The elephants are often used as a symbol of Seleucid power as a result of sort of the event that the game starts with, where Chandragupta Maurya tries to sort of give elephants to Seleucus in exchange for a peace. And let's see, so this is... we have a chance to gain a philosopher in order to help the king. So let's go ahead and do that. Tyranny is at 10%, so that's not great. My people are not particularly happy at the moment. Let's go ahead and reconvert some pops. The Seleucid Empire, I think I kind of mentioned last time, and now I've finally become friends with my heir, Antiochus. The Seleucid Empire has pretty kind of low unity, maybe, or it's religiously and it's sort of ethnically diverse, and so I want to try and convert pops to Hellenic faith in order to sort of gain happiness and gain omen power. I also eventually want to try to assimilate pops into the sort of the Macedonian culture. That would be pretty helpful, I think, in the long run. I also want to try to put in these trade routes, which I did not do last time. I think I'm importing grain to the capital now, but I also want to import iron so I can recruit infantry, and wine, maybe, as soon as I have enough to actually do it, here in a couple days. The wine and grain both give kind of like buffs to my pops, but specifically the iron is useful because I want to recruit heavy infantry, which I think in the Hellenic culture group are called Pesatoiroi, or like the foot companions, basically, of the Alexandrian armies, or the Hellenistic armies. So basically you have like phalangites or members of the Macedonian phalanx with the Sarissa being recruited, and also recruiting light cavalry, because the Hellenic kingdoms have this tactic, and I don't mean like a military tactic in history, but an in-game tactic, and I'll go to an army so you can see what I mean, where... Ooh, alright, hold up. This is an event I haven't really seen before. So I've gained some good stuff. So apparently this guy has sort of taught my king how to be a nicer person, and is now just, and as a result, the philosophers gained loyalty, and my guys gained, Seleucus, the Basilus, has gained a +1 to his civic power, or civic rating, I guess. So I want to pause it and show you what I was talking about there with that tactic. So here, the upper right-hand corner of the army window, you have different tactics. But again, the specific Hellenic sort of special tactic is the phalanx, which gives buffs to heavy infantry and light cavalry. So I want to try and sort of recruit armies maybe that have some of those in them. All right, am I still have unused trade routes here? Why is that? Oh, wine. All right. Okay. Good. So again, the goal is to try and convince the Egyptians to join us in a war against Antigonus the One-Eyed, or against the Phrygian kingdom. Let's see here. Relations, actions. I've already established an embassy and sort of improving my relations with them. I'm already friends with Ptolemy, sort of long-standing friends. Seleucus and Ptolemy sort of were friends before they each became kings, and continued to kind of fight as allies after they became kings. And I also want to start recruiting generals here. I have Seleucus in charge of one of my armies, but I also want to make sure the other armies have commanders. Takes a long time for armies to get anywhere in the Seleucid kingdom. So sort of sometimes I find when I've played previous games that it's quicker to actually recruit soldiers locally than it is to actually sort of move them across the empire. But we're sort of at the beginning of the game. I don't have a ton of money. I also don't want to drain my manpower before going to war with Antigonus, so I'm trying to be kind of careful. Let's sort of look at our characters. Characters is something I'm less familiar with. I've played a lot of EU4, but have not played a lot of Crusader Kings. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend any of you who maybe the Crusader Kings, you love it and it's a great game. I'm sure it is. I just never really got into it, and so as a result, I think I'm kind of a novice when it comes to the characters. I'm trying to try different things with him, marrying off characters to people inside the Empire, and I'm more used to the idea of like in EU4 of sealing marriage alliances with family members, and that's something that I was sort of expecting to find in this game, but have not really seen. And here my guys are marching together, and so they're suffering attrition, so I'm going to have one group stop. Or maybe not stop, but instead have this guy come back here. So attrition is really kind of a bane in this game. I mean, it's a lot. Seems like a lot more important to kind of carefully watch and manage your forces, because the attrition penalties are hard, and manpower is something that I'm not terribly great at managing in this game yet. So I want to be careful to try and make the most of it here. Alright, let's see the economy. Wages, what do wages do? Okay. So Egypt is bullying people into giving them territory, which, is not great for me in the long term, but, for the time being, go for it, I guess. I need the Egyptians' help. I'm going to lose 300 gold to avoid getting national unrest and subject states trying to rebel against me, which is okay. I have a little bit of gold left, and the bad events just keep on coming here. The Oracle of Delphi is trying to make life hard for me here, and I think I'm going to spend a whole bunch of money to try and appease the gods. So now I'm very low on money, which is not great. So a lot of the forces are in place here, and of course the prophecy has continued, and I've spent all the money for nothing. So losing 20 legitimacy, great. Great, okay. Wonderful. Yeah, but I'm making 19 a turn, so, or 19 a month, so hopefully I'll be alright in the long term. I haven't really used a lot of mercenaries. I've played around with them in the other games, but they work a little bit differently in Imperator Rome. They hadn't in EU4. So, for example, when you recruit a whole bunch of mercenaries, there's not a huge shell-out cost. You just start paying the monthly fee, but in order to disband them and stop paying the monthly cost, there is a sizable sort of sunk cost, which is I think it's kind of a cool feature, because if you think about it, trying to deal with a lot of these mercenaries, there's usually a large payout at the war's end. For example, after the First Punic War, when the Carthaginians had sort of recruited large mercenary forces, they no longer had sort of a means to pay them and had to go to war with them as a result. So I think maybe having to pay your mercenaries a whole bunch at the end of the war is an interesting feature. Alright, let's see sort of what else is going on here. Really, I think it's kind of a waiting game. I'm waiting on these two fortresses to finish. I'm waiting on the Egyptians to like me enough to sort of go into an alliance with me so we can sort of face down the evil Antigonid Kingdom of Phrygia together. Okay, and now maybe time to recruit some more generals here. Okay. Make a Chaos Seleucid in charge here. So far, I'm not really making many of the decisions. Alright, so again, more trade routes. This time, base metals, it looks like, is the one in question. Hopefully it'll give me some more money. Right now I don't have a lot, although I'm doing well when it comes to manpower. Managed to not suffer a huge amount of attrition getting all these guys over. The desert is, you always suffer sort of 1% attrition even if you're below the supply limit for the province, which is kind of challenging as the Seleucids, because a lot of your territory is desert terrain. But when the Egyptians sort of finally agree to become our friends here, and the army is ready to be put in place, we'll go ahead and kick off this war with the Phrygian kingdom. So I think probably that's about enough for this episode. If you all want to come back next time, we'll probably get to declaring war on the Phrygian kingdom in the next episode, I imagine. All right, thanks so much for watching.